Try this. Good evening, good evening. Happy Thursday. Welcome to another episode of Transplant Talk with Nishanda. And I am your hostess with the mostest. And I'm super glad and super excited that you have come to watch this amazing story of how my two guests today became one, you know. So I'm super excited about it. And how's everyone doing today? How's everyone doing today? I always like to know where everyone is from. Where's everyone from? And as always, we know that Save 1000 Lives is a nonprofit, and we are still in the business of registering our people to become organ donors. If you go to Donate Life Florida, you will see where you can put your name and fill out all that necessary information. And then you can also, as you can see right here, click Other and then Save 1000 Lives. And then all across our great state from the Panhandle to Miami to Key West, you are able to register to become an organ donor. Listen, if you have any questions, please make sure that you put it down in the chat. Make sure that you put it down in the chat. And I just want to tell you all, real quickly. All right, we have some Aaliyah. Aaliyah Howard. Welcome, Aaliyah, all the way from Lake City. Yes. We're going to touch on that more in a minute. Also, I wanted to just let you all know that I did represent for Save 1000 Lives and Transplant Talk with Nashonda in our local, you guessed it, MLK parade. Let me tell you something now. It was cold. It was cold. That wind was blowing. It was definitely cold. But I am proud to say that 2 years ago, because we didn't go to the parade in 2021, 2 years ago, 2019, I even said I'm going to be a part of that parade, and my husband's legacy will still continue. And that is what I did. I want to thank Brock for driving me, for being my chauffeur. It was driving Miss Larimore, like driving Miss Daisy, and then my special friend, my brother, my pal, Derek Bryant, who made the connection for Brock and myself, and Derek Bryant also, who is in need of a kidney transplant, represented in the parade as well. So, of course, I'm super excited. We are breaking down barriers and we are making strides in this community. And next year, I've already spoke to a group of friends, and we're either going to have multiple cars in the parade, or we are going to have a float with living donors or recipients. And we're also going to have a place where we can honor those that gave theirs life. All right, I'm Marcus' daughter. Okay. Marcus, your daughter's already, honey. She is ready. I'm super excited for her. Okay. Tell your daddy, girl. Tell your daddy who you are and tell us who you are. And we're excited. I know you are excited to still have your dad in your life. So we're going to talk about this today, right? And those of you who have ever thought about being a living donor, this is another story. I know I've had it before. I've had maybe 3, 4 people on here now that were living donors that gave to their wife or husband or gave to their daughter. We've had that to happen as well. But today we're looking at two strangers that came together, and we definitely need more Sarahs, Podobinskis in the world. If we talk in this world, what we need more is love. We definitely need more love in this world. And when you have a disease, it does not discriminate. Cancer doesn't discriminate. Lupus doesn't discriminate. It doesn't matter your color. All that matters is your blood. And this young lady did something so fantastic. Anytime I meet a living donor, she is a shero to me. So if I ever have my black tie event, which that is the next thing that I'm going to do, so Derek, get ready. We are going to honor someone such as Sarah for giving so much of herself. So I want to bring Mr. DeMarcus, that's Aaliyah's daddy, on right now. Let us find out a little bit about him. And Sarah, I see you back there, and we will have you on momentarily. But what I want to do right now is I want to welcome both Sarah and DeMarcus. DeMarcus is in Lake City, and Sarah is in Gainesville. So you see, I didn't have to go too far. So let me pull out the red carpet for both of them, and welcome to the TTWN Network. All right, Mr. DeMarcus A. Brown. How are
you?
I'm excited. I'm excited and delighted that you are here with us, and your baby girl is just shouting you out. Isn't
I
that
see that.
Oh, look at her. Awesome.
Yeah, that's Olivia.
Yes. Oh, Olivia.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, ma'am. She's our superstar.
She's a superstar. Y'all seeing this baby showing some love to Mr. Marcus. I think that is absolutely wonderful. And if more people actually became organ donors, you'll have more kids that are, excited to still have their parents in their life. So, Mr. Marcus, before you tell us about your journey, tell us a little bit about who you are.
Well, I was born and raised here in Lake City, Florida. I guess you can say I'm a hometown boy. Man now, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was educated in schools here in Columbia County. And sometime around 2004, 2005, I decided to get into the career of corrections. And I found my calling. And I was doing the job pretty well. And then this little thing started clawing at me called hypertension.
Okay.
And it's something that runs in my family, but working this career, it kind of sped things up. So as time went on, the doctors told me, get it under control, take your medicine. But me being stubborn, I thought that I could push through it, and I had plenty of time to address it. And then finally, in 2017, it really caught up with me. I started having shortness of breath, and leading up to that, I had my legs were swelling, and of course I had heating pads, and I was just thinking I was tired, and not really taking care of myself, which is one of the things. And then one day, I got ready to go to work, and I couldn't breathe.
Oh.
And so I drove myself to the hospital, and when I went there, they told me that at the time my blood pressure was just really, really high, and so they wanted to get it under control.
Okay.
So they were able to get it under control, and then the next thing you know, 2 days later, my blood pressure just shot up through the roof. And about a few hours later, they came in, did some labs, and then when they came back, a nephrologist came in the room. They told me, Mr. Graham, you have two options. One is to prepare for hospice, and the other is allow us to drive you over to Gainesville so we can put a catheter in. And so at first I was apprehensive about it because I had a family member that struggled with dialysis. And then I had a cousin who was actually in medical school at Howard University. His name is Ashley Crumbly. Thank you, cousin. I'll never forget that.
Okay, cousin.
Yeah, he took care of me. Okay. And so he spoke with the doctor, and then I had a conversation with him. He says modern technology has done amazing things. He says just let him do it, cuz. Okay. And so I decided to do it. And next thing you know, I was in a ambulance being transferred to Gainesville.
Okay.
And let me back up.
Okay. Let me stop you right there. But before all of this, how active were you? Were you a Were you an athlete? What were you doing before you got into this? Like before you got hypertension, what was your life like?
I enjoyed working out.
Okay.
Working out with weights and some plates too.
Okay.
I enjoyed putting the fork to my mouth. So, and
Okay.
but
Okay.
I was fairly active,
Okay.
and all the signs were there. I learned after the fact that my kidneys were shutting down,
Okay.
but I thought I was just tired, and my
Okay.
body was just crying for help. And
Okay.
yeah,
Were you getting enough rest and still being fatigued?
I wasn't sleeping. I was staying up, all night, and it's when I think back now, and I tell people now, even when they have hypertension issues, I said, listen to your body,
Mm-hmm.
because
Oh,
your body's going to tell you something's wrong.
right.
Regardless if you want to hear it or not, listen to your body. I said, or you end up in my shoes.
Absolutely. Now, how old were you when you were diagnosed with hypertension?
Uh, Around 26. I was borderline most of my life, but when I joined this career, it woke it up. It really woke it up.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I didn't know how to turn it off, so to speak, in this career.
All right. So once again, knowing your family history, but not only just knowing your family history, but being responsible to keep it, under control so you don't have, problems later on down the road.
Absolutely.
I'm fortunate. I know hypertension runs in our family. I was diagnosed at 19
Mm,
of having no 18 of having hypertension. And I tell everybody I was marching in the band at FAMU
mm,
and they had no clue that my blood pressure was over the roof, but it is now manageable. I take my meds like I'm supposed to, and we're all good. No problems, no problems whatsoever. So, guys, if you are out there, make sure that you take care of your body, and your body will take care of you if that
absolutely.
is something that you do. So, ladies, the same things. Like he said, listen to your bodies because one way I found out, you can do it voluntarily or
Hmm.
involuntarily, but either way, it's going to get done. So be very, very mindful of that. So you started this journey well a little later. You started in 2017, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Late July 2017.
Okay. And now, how did this affect your immediate family? What did you have to do to prepare them for what you were going to experience?
Well, thing is, everything happened so fast.
Okay.
I was able to call my auntie. She lives here locally,
Okay.
and tell her, and of course, everybody was shocked. And then I went from, oh, okay, I went from just being in the hospital expecting to be released to they're telling me I'm dying. So it's it was a shock, for everyone.
Okay. So right now, these are red flags, and right now we're in a state of emergency because
Absolutely.
we got to try to save your life.
Hmm. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
And when you mentioned hospice so young
Yes,
to
ma'am.
hear those words, that had to be pretty frightening.
It was. It was, and you think to yourself, you have so much left to do,
Right.
and I haven't even scratched the surface of what I'm trying to accomplish. So
Right. Right. So yeah, so you definitely had to. So you had to get your affairs in order
yes, ma'am.
and also prepare the family for what was to come. And we're not even 50 years old yet, so that is not anything. We're not looking to pass away. And I know at such a young age we think we're invincible,
Yes, ma'am.
but that was definitely not the case to be able to to escape this. And it runs in your family. You've mentioned other family members that
Mhm.
have had this coming. So did you think that this was kind of inevitable for
Uh,
you?
Not the kidney. The heart. For some reason, I was somewhat. I'm not going to say prepared. Worst case scenario, but the kidney issue was a surprise.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's because it impacted the heart, of everyone in my family, except for on my father's side, and it impacted my grandmother and her kidneys. They found out too late for her, and sadly, she passed on.
Wow. So this is all through your family.
Yes, ma'am. It was trying to chase me. It was trying to chase me because I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do.
Okay. Oh, wow. That is
Yeah.
wow, that's something to be prepared for and be aware of for other people in your family. So are you holding like family meetings saying, hey, everybody, let's get it together?
I'm trying to. The most important, yeah, because I'm going through this journey. I was able to find out some other things that are going on in my system. Had it not been for this, and thanks to God that we're on top of things and I'm in good health. And let me back up a little bit if I can.
Sure.
So when I was in the hospital, I had a friend at the time. Her name was Latasha Bartlett, and she started showing up, checking on me. She was mad that I didn't call her to take me to the hospital.
Okay.
And what happened?
No, I still see you.
Okay. Sorry. So so she showed up. She was there from day one, and for some reason, it started impacting the way I was thinking because I couldn't remember the medication, and when I think back, I was dying. Mm-hmm. So, and then we went over to North Florida Regional, and she was in the vehicle right behind me. I was in the ambulance. I seen her right behind me the entire way. Mm-hmm. And so we went over there, and the doctors pretty much told me what they were going to do. So I was there for a few hours. Mm-hmm. And then later on that evening, they took me in and put the chest catheter in. Mm-hmm. And it seems like it was not real. It's like I was in a dream, looking around at different things. And they put the catheter in. And then the next day, I was on dialysis.
Mm. Yeah. Stanley is talking some good talk there. And let me say hi to my mama. Hey, mama. So we want to make sure that we are educating people on the importance of taking care of their health. And we know all that good food y'all like to eat, all the sodium, all the salt that people like to put on their food and all of that good stuff. And it upsets me when I see people put salt on their food before they even taste it. Mm-hmm. They put the salt on it. So hypertension is a very serious matter, and we definitely ought to take it seriously and not take it for granted. And so, hello to everybody. Hello, my friend George and Stanley Scott. Thank you so much for giving your words on our show today, and welcome to the show. And so it is time for you. Sarah is able to come on. So it was time for you to go through that. You started 2017. What was it like to find out that you were on the actual transplant list?
I can't describe it in words. The feeling of we made it. I did what I was supposed to do because there's certain things that you have to do to go active on that list. You have to be compliant with your treatment and your medication and the dialysis center. They have to sign off on it. Okay. But it was a great feeling.
It's a great feeling. So, but you did not have to wait a long time.
No, man. It's so the people, the wonderful people at Mayo Clinic, they basically told me that for some reason everybody likes you. And
okay.
a large amount of people that submitted their information and their blood samples. Mm-hmm. And of course I still go back to when this first started, Tasha was my friend. She later became my girlfriend. Okay. So she's been there through everything. Mm-hmm. And when I was happy, she was happy. When I was down, she was down. Mm-hmm. But she kept pushing me. And we went live on the transplant list. I believe it was in July and it was an exciting time. I mean, because I couldn't do nothing but, thank God for the opportunity to even be on the list, because my peers in the clinic, a lot of them sadly didn't get the opportunity to even go live on the list because they had so many other issues.
All right. And your kidney functions were at an all-time low.
Yes, ma'am. 7%. 7%. And the original. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Now, how are you functioning? That's 7%.
The grace of God. That's the only reason I was functioning. You know? And my body was screaming for help, and I was just stubborn. And then finally, it stopped me.
Okay.
So,
And you started dialysis. You started
yes, ma'am.
dialysis treatments right away.
I started right away. The chest catheter, I did it for about 6 or 7 months, and then they started doing surgeries to prepare my fistula, which is something they put, in your either your left or right arm, or graft, or whichever, because I have smaller veins. So
Okay.
they inserted it, and I was going to treatment and just pushing on. My thing was, when I woke up each morning, as long as I put one foot in front of the other, I could make it through the day.
Okay.
So I think that prepared me for whatever may come. You know, so
And you were fortunate to have a good job that
excellent,
supported you,
absolutely,
which was awesome. Most people these days are getting let go
yes, ma'am,
because of this illness,
yes, ma'am.
and they fully supported you. What was the special thing your job did for you once they found out what was
Right.
going on with you?
The first thing they said, let's get you a kidney.
Okay.
So some of the good people, you want me to say? I can say their names if you want me to.
Yes, yes.
Okay. uh, Sarah Wheeler, and I don't know if she wants her name out there because she has it confidential.
Okay.
But some of the great people at the Columbia County Sheriff's Office,
Okay.
they got together and came up with a Team DeMarcus page, and they went back and forth with Tasha because she was the brains behind the operation. Because my goal was just to get better
Okay.
and continue fighting. So
Okay.
they started it up, and it went from there.
All right.
So we,
And some very special person was following your Facebook page. A very special person. And again, I'll say it again, we need more people like Sarah. We need more Sarahs,
yes, ma'am.
Podobinskis in the world, because she followed it. And just meeting her, and after talking and speaking with her, even yesterday, everything she was saying, I almost expected nothing less. Just that short time that we spoke, for her to do what she did. So I want to bring your angel on the show, because she definitely helped save your life, and she definitely should be honored, for what she did for you. So everyone, I am going to bring Miss Sarah P all the way from Gainesville on live. And we were having a few technical difficulties, but God said yes, and the devil said, we told the devil no. So she's here, she's backstage, and we're going to bring this angel on right now. Everyone, please welcome Miss Sarah P. Hi, Sarah. How are you, Sarah? Can you hear
Hi,
me?
I'm doing well.
Okay.
I can
And
hear
I
you.
know,
Can you hear
look,
me?
yes, I could see you and hear you. Last night it was me. Okay, guys, she's going in and out. Just having some technical difficulties. COVID just messing up everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'll come. Hopefully she'll come back. I'll just remove her until she is backstage again, and we try to get her story real quick, because we don't want to prolong the time. Okay, she's switching over. I'm just kind of waiting for her. All right, I want you to, DeMarcus, take me to the day that you got the call that you had a living donor a living donor, which I'm pretty sure everybody would love to have a living donor. Paint that picture for us. What happened that day?
I was speechless, breathless, any other kind of less words you want to think of. I couldn't believe it because I was in total shock.
Okay.
You try to imagine it, but when she told me, I don't know. It's
Overwhelming.
to this day, it's
Uh-huh.
I get a second chance,
Yeah.
and that's what it is, a true second chance at life,
Yeah.
and it's an amazing feeling, and I wish that everyone could receive that, yeah.
Yeah. So when you found out and you
Yeah.
yelled, screamed, shout, prayed, thank God, then it was time to get the work done. So how long after you got the phone call did you receive your gift of life?
Uh, Maybe 2.5 months. It went really fast because they asked us when did we want to schedule the surgery, and at that point it was about Sarah. What did she feel comfortable, how soon, and so they said December 21st. She said, "Oh, that's my better half, Latasha. I'm gonna say
Hi,
hello to her."
there you go. Hi, Todd. Wonderful, wonderful to see you online. Look at all the wonderful things she says about you as well. Hello, Miss Latasha. Awesome.
So we, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, she threw you off. She threw you off. But
Unexpected.
you say 2.5 months.
Yes, ma'am. So December 21st. I'm sorry, December 21st.
Mhm.
Uh, Oddly enough, this is how God works. Sometimes is that December 21st is Tasha's anniversary of her dad passing. So on that day, it was sad prior to then. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's
It
okay.
used to be sad, but at the same time, I was given rebirth. So
Mm.
one time, one chapter closed, another chapter opened.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, oof. I mean, it was. I'm thinking about the call
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of times I'm quiet, soft spoken, but when she said that, it floored me. She's like, okay, hey, this is I'm your donor, and then you think, am I worthy of this? Then you come to the realization that I worked my butt off. I was compliant. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I asked God, in your timing,
Mm-hmm.
will I get this? And
He
you
did.
felt it's time for me.
Yeah,
So
he
yeah,
did.
I thank
Well,
God for that
yeah, well, God is good all the
all
time.
the time.
All the time. So I'm gonna bring Sarah before she goes off again.
Oh,
Okay.
Hi.
All right.
Sorry, my dogs may bark
It's
like
okay.
they are right now.
It is. Look, they just want to be on the show. It's okay. It's okay, and you can mute at any time if you need to. Um, oh wow, they are alive today. They weren't as alive yesterday. All right, so Sarah, I guess if you get to a certain place, we want to know, what made you, follow DeMarcus's story on Facebook.
Um, Essentially how I got it was my sister also works for the Department of Corrections. So through mutual friends and shares and all of the linking, it ended up on her Facebook page. So so I saw it, started following the page, kind of kept an eye on things. And then the application process was brought up. So I just went ahead and applied. I was at a pretty good position in my life that I felt like I could do something. So so I definitely applied. I applied in August of that year. Heard back pretty quickly. Went and took some blood tests for cross matching and stuff like that, and found out that I was a pretty decent match. I'm an O negative donor, so that happened. A couple weeks went by. I got another call saying, we're a pretty good match, so why don't you come in for some additional testing? And that was kind of it from there. All downhill after that. So.
Okay. But now, when you explained to your family and friends this is what you were doing, what was their reaction?
Like I said, everybody I know knows me and knows how I am about things. Everybody was very supportive. I had a few people questioning like why. Not that they were trying to discourage me in any way, shape, or form, but it's the usual concerns that people get. What if your sister needs a kidney? What if your nephew needs a kidney? What if somebody needs a kidney or something to that effect? And with all the research I did, when I applied, the chances of one of my family members or something needing a kidney are very, very low. Those traits don't run. We don't have those diseases in our family. It was very, very unlikely that they would need a kidney. So I took that risk and gave it to somebody else. So, yeah.
Wow. Now, listen, everybody, if you all would do what Sarah did, she did her due diligence. She took the time to discover, some things about her own family and, if they would need her in the future. I think that was a very smart thing, for her to do, and a very selfless act for her to be there for DeMarcus. And I can't get enough of what Tasha just said, is that, Sarah has become a permanent part of our family now. She'll always have a special place in our hearts. And I think that is, for you all to embrace her in such a way and have such kind words to say about her for what she did for DeMarcus to have a second chance. That's just, that just speaks volumes. And Sarah, you also, do a lot of other things in your community as well. Would you share those things as well?
Yeah, I do a few things. I'm an avid blood donor. I'm a special antigen donor where I'm Rh negative and I'm lacking certain antigens. So children and babies and people with certain diseases utilize my blood more. So I get special calls from the hospital on occasion when they need those. I run a pet rescue here in Levy County. We provide spay-neuter resources for people to keep their pets, that sort of thing. I also volunteer with several other rescue groups. I run a food warehouse on Sundays with a group of about 10 people. We provide pet food and supplies for over 100 different rescue groups in Florida and parts of Georgia. I work, I go to school. A lot on my plate, a lot of balls in the air.
Well, okay. So Sarah, let me ask you this. When do you have time to sleep? Oh, she went away. As you can see, she has a very okay. It's okay, Daddy. Still love you. As you all can see, Sarah is an amazing woman, and it only makes sense, if you just heard everything that she said, it only makes sense that she did something like this to help save someone else, and to be so selfless to be able to save DeMarcus's life. And again, I thank you both so much. I know you're like local celebrities where you are, because you all also did a news interview, where you are. And, I hope people look at this again and see that, again, your kidney disease did not discriminate, and Sarah did not discriminate to help you. So if people will see the love of a person's heart, like someone like Sarah, to give, to you. That's the message I want people, to be able to see. Stop looking at someone's skin color and look at their heart, because so many other living donors did such a selfless thing, and it went so smoothly. And when I would like for you all to tell me what happened on the day of the transplant. What did you all do?
Sarah, want to go first?
She's moving. She's moving. Can't you hear me, Sarah? I know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
you were there early.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so day of the surgery,
Oh. Okay, DeMarcus, you gonna have to jump on.
All right.
I was trying to get her before she left, so go ahead.
All right. The morning of the surgery, we got there. I'm guessing around 5 something. Sarah went in first.
Mm-hmm.
We went up to the waiting room, and my family, my work family, we all gathered in the room and just hung out for a few hours because thankfully we had some comedians in the room that
Okay.
lightened the mood a little bit and made things a little easier to deal with. Oh, she's back. I can stop.
The internet connection today is atrocious.
Yes, I agree.
So, yep, got up very early, went in, had to be there about 5. My surgery time was about 7:30. So that happened. I think I was in surgery for about maybe 3.5 hours. And I think probably about partway through mine is when they started prepping DeMarcus for his surgery. But yeah, it was all, we met in the waiting room.
Yeah.
We ran into each other in the waiting room.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, it's a very, very exciting day. Very long day.
It's a long day. And your recovery took you how long to recover?
Oh gosh, no time at all. I was home the next day. I left the next day about mid-afternoon, and I was back to work in 2 weeks.
Wow.
The only major restriction I had was no lifting anything over 8 pounds for about 6 to 8 weeks, which was incredibly difficult for me considering what I do. But honestly, it was super easy. It just kind of felt like I did a whole lot of sit-ups.
Okay.
Okay. But nothing major. Some bloating, felt like a bloated sea cow for a while. Okay. But it was really, really easy. Like just to think of the fact that they literally took a whole entire organ out of your body, and the fact that I felt almost completely fine in a couple of weeks was just baffling to a lot of people, myself included. Right. But yeah, it was easy, so easy.
Yeah, I had some former guests on the show who was looking for their siblings to possibly give them a life-saving, transplant, but there's a lot of fear in the unknown. And thank you for sharing that part of how easy it was for you to make that transition and get back to work. You wasn't out over a year. You recovered very quickly. So I wanted that to be, definitely something you spoke about and touched on during this time for people that are, curious to know, how long will I be down? And, I know there was a lot of blood that had to be taken from you, or a lot of tests had to be done. But as you she is here, she is alive and well, and she is still kicking. So, Sarah, again, thank you
very much.
Thank you so very much.
Yeah, I just want to touch on the fact that nothing in your life changes. I get that question a lot if I have to be on medications or if I have any restrictions of any sort. Literally nothing has changed. My life is still exactly the same as it was before. My lifestyle is the same. They just encourage you not to take ibuprofen and NSAIDs a lot because that's a little rougher on the kidneys. I do, not like I used to. But literally everything is the same. There's no long-term meds. There's no long-term side effects. Nothing changes. You're just missing an organ. So I get that question a lot.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm sure you do, because you're one of the superheroes now. So if somebody else wanted to be a superhero, now we have given them some points and some, pointers or facts, instead of it being misconstrued of, what can actually happen. And DeMarcus, what, on that day for you, another exciting day, how was it for you?
It went so smoothly. It felt unreal.
Okay.
They took me out of the room and wheeled me up to surgery,
Mhm.
and I woke up, and of course, I was probably a little groggy from the medication,
Okay.
but I woke up 2 hours after my surgery.
Okay.
I had this thing in the back of my head saying that you better get up as soon as possible. So
Okay.
2 hours after my surgery, I was up.
Okay.
We decided to, walk down to Sarah's room and see if we could borrow some sugar or something. But
Okay.
but
All right.
she was
Oh,
on the phone or something. But
okay. Okay.
I tried to make light of it, but
All right.
it was a great experience because I've seen videos of some people, their recovery time taking a little longer. So
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to push myself. The same thing I did when I was on dialysis. I wanted to be the first to transition from the catheter to the fistula.
Mm-hmm.
Push
Mm-hmm.
the entire time, and so I got up. We did it. That was Thursday or Friday. I believe it was on a Friday. So Sunday morning, I was released from the hospital, and we went over to Gabriel House of Care, which is right there on the campus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wonderful place. I have nothing but great things to say.
Awesome.
Tasha stayed there for 30 days, healing up. And
Right.
can I go back to my agency if possible?
Yeah.
Okay, so uh, during this entire ordeal, my employer, the Columbia County Sheriff's Office, made sure I received the paycheck each pay period. I didn't go without a paycheck. You
Wow.
know,
Wow.
it did some fundraisers for me, and
Mhm.
it helped take care of extra costs. And then the entire time I was in Gabriel House, I didn't have to pay out of pocket for anything. Our
Wow.
insurance gave me a credit card voucher and for food, and of course I still got my paychecks and in different cash that was flowing in.
Come
Uh,
on.
only thing that we needed to concentrate on was getting better.
Oh.
Then when
And
I
that's the best thing ever.
absolutely,
Because
absolutely,
you shouldn't have to worry about how you're going to pay mortgage a car, or what are you going to do for a job. Oh man,
yeah,
God bless your agency. God bless them for really taking care of you. And I have a few people. My dad said, I thought it was very selfless of her, and that's why I keep saying there needs to be more Sarahs in the
absolutely,
world. And Tony is saying that, what an amazing story. And Sonia is just wow. Hey Sonia. So I do believe this is why I love Transplant Talk, because it gets more information out there, and we can just be able to let people into your life for just a small moment, and let them see that this is actually possible.
yes, it is.
And if people just consider being more educated, and doing the research like Sarah said, I'm going to bring her back on. And so we're going to just wrap this up really quick. But I have a question for both of you. So, and DeMarcus, I asked you earlier, if what would you say to someone that is maybe not an organ donor, or on the fence about becoming an organ donor? What would you say to them?
Well, look at me.
Oh,
God used you to give me a second chance,
mm,
and I'm a firm believer in Him moving in mysterious ways. And
okay.
I've met other donors. One here in my hometown, Kiambi Tonsil.
Oh,
He donated to his cousin.
okay. We need
And
to get him on the show. Okay, go
okay,
ahead.
Kiambi, you hear me, right? Yeah. Okay. And just listening to people uh, saying, they don't know how strong, they didn't realize how strong I was, and it's like it's not me, it's God, and through prayers, of a loving community, because my community, they sent so many prayers up on my behalf, and I
Oh,
would have been a fool not to fight for them.
you're
And
right.
so I'm just thankful for a second chance at life. It's totally worth it. Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's totally worth
Absolutely. Totally worth becoming an organ donor.
it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. And Sarah, what would you say?
It's more so of, we all have the ability to make a difference in some way, shape, or form, no matter how big or how small. And I'm not saying everybody, has to be a living donor, but check that box when you go get your driver's license, fill out the app online. That's just something small that you could do on the off chance that something happens that could potentially affect, so many people's lives. It's very simple and it's very easy. Like I said, we get the question why a lot, and it's always, we always say why not, because it's just we don't value other people's lives more than others. So, but just check the box on your driver's license registration when you go to renew that every year, because you just never know who you're going to impact in some way, shape, or form, maybe later down the road.
Absolutely. And here's another little secret, people don't know. You don't have to have it on your driver's license. Howsoever, if
Right.
you go to registerme.org, or if you go to my website as well, you can go ahead and you can actually say which organ you want to be able to donate. So as long as it's on the registry and you have a phobia about it being on your driver's license, go to the link and fill it out, and you can just say, no, I don't want it on my driver's license, but I want to become a donor. So I love educating people about what it is that you can do and how you can, just help your fellow man. And that would be the best thing ever. And so with those being the last words, I appreciate you again so much. I know Sarah has gone back. Sarah's gone back off.
Thank
But
you
I
so
want to make, yeah, I want to make sure I don't. Did you want to say something to Sarah DeMarcus before we go?
I'd just like to thank you once again. I thank you. My family thanks you. My community, my agency, we all thank you for giving me that gift.
Absolutely,
Just
absolutely.
seeing you live your daily life every day is thanks enough for me. So
Yeah, yeah, and look at him. I mean, he looks good. He's not out there, being disrespectful to your organ. He's
Not at
loving
all.
you and he's respecting you, and so just I'm just overwhelmed just by how your sheer generosity and your selflessness. God bless you so much, and whatever the desires of your heart, I really hope and pray that God gives them to you. God gives them to
thank
you.
you.
You are welcome. Tony, I said the same thing. We need more people like Sarah. We need more people like Sarah. So, guys, how do they know to check the registry if it's not on their license? Well, that's a good question, Daddy. Tune in next week and I'll have that answer. Okay, we will have that. We will have the answer for you, Dad. That's a good leeway into next week. And next week I have my next guest, Miss Denise Simmons. So tune in again next week for another great show. God bless you all. Remember, go out and become an organ donor. Organ donation does not only save lives, but as you can see, organ donation changes lives. So until next week, God bless you all and good night. And you all stay right there. I'm going to take us on out of here. Thank you, everyone, for watching Transplant Talk with my Shonda. Goodbye.